This episode, three Japanese brands are each finding a different way into the American market through smart channel sequencing, through venture capital, and through food service partnerships. Better Than Butter is scaling its plant-based butter through e-commerce. Ohayo Dairy is launching a $50 million innovation fund, and Chew is turning its candy flavors into limited edition sodas. Here's what's moving in Japanese food. Japanese challenger brand Better Than Butter is expanding across the U.S. through e-commerce platform Misfits Market. The brand launches on Misfits Market in July 2026 on the West Coast, with a nationwide rollout planned by the end of the year. The product is made with just 6 ingredients and positioned as seed oil-free and allergen-conscious. And since its January 2026 launch, the brand says it's reached 3.6 units per store per week, with zero marketing spend. That zero marketing figure is the real story. Moving 3.6 units per store weekly without ad spend signals genuine organic demand, which is exactly the proof point that justifies scaling into e-commerce next. What we're watching is a deliberate sequence. Prove it in specialty retail, then layer on e-commerce for national reach, keeping risk and capital low at each step. For emerging Japanese brands, this signals that a staged entry, specialty first, then distribution, then e-commerce, is a lower-risk path into the U.S. That's a small brand climbing step by step. But our next story is a company buying its way to the front of the innovation line. Ohayo Dairy Products is launching a $50 million corporate venture fund to accelerate FoodTech and global expansion. The fund is worth $50 million US, run with Pegasus Tech Ventures, a firm that manages more than 40 funds, over $2 billion in assets, and has backed more than 300 startups. Ohayo has flagged its target sectors: food tech, biotech, wellness foods, supply chain innovation, and retail technologies. This is a fundamentally different playbook from exporting products. By setting up a corporate venture fund, Ohayo is buying a window into overseas innovation, startups, and partnerships, access it could never build as fast on its own. Instead of shipping its existing goods abroad and hoping they land, it's investing directly into the technologies and companies shaping food's future. For Japanese food manufacturers, this signals that a venture capital structure can unlock overseas innovation far faster than a traditional export-first strategy. Where Ohayo is investing in the future, our final story is about testing the future fast through a single summer partnership. Chew is teaming up with drink chain FiiZ to turn its candy flavors into limited edition summer sodas. The collaboration launches 2 limited edition drinks, an orange creamsicle drink and a frozen key lime pie drink. The campaign runs from July 1st through August 31st. FiiZ has more than 70 locations nationwide, with the drinks priced from $3.99 to $5.99. This is a low-cost, low-risk experiment with a clear strategic purpose. Rather than committing to a full packaged beverage launch, Chew is using a time-boxed food service partnership to test whether its candy flavors translate into a drink format and to see how consumers respond, all inside a 2-month window. If the sodas perform, the brand has real data to justify a bigger beverage play. For Japanese snack brands, this signals that food service collaborations are a fast, cheap way to test new consumption formats before betting on packaged products. Taken together, these moves suggest that Japanese food companies are getting far more sophisticated about how they enter the U.S., not just charging in with product, but choosing entry structures that manage risk. Better Than Butter sequences its channels to prove demand before scaling. Ohayo buys innovation access through a venture fund, and Chew rents a food service partner to test a new format cheaply. 3 brands, 3 different tools, but the same underlying discipline. For businesses watching this space, the implication is that the smartest Japanese entrants are treating U.S. expansion as a series of controlled, low-risk experiments rather than one big bet. The winners aren't the ones spending the most. They're the ones structuring their entry so that each step earns the right to the next. For the cultural context behind these brand stories, head to Waitin, link in the description. See you in 2 weeks.